So here's the biggest problem with academic researchers. We're arrogant. We think we know a lot, but in reality, we actually don't know a lot. And truthfully, I think we should be arrogant in a lot of different ways because it is actually hard to actually get there. But here's the thing. We're at a moment in culture where this arrogancy is not being perceived that well, where we've set up boundaries where it's become hard for people to enter those particular boundaries. And the easiest way we can change what is going on in culture at this moment is to let those boundaries down and to come out and to be okay with not being arrogant, being okay with being ourselves, and opening up to people that might be looking at what we do and being afraid of it, looking at scientific research and saying that, well, it's all those eggheads that are saying those things. I don't have to pay attention to any of that stuff. But in reality, what we need to do, just say, hey, you know what? We're struggling too. We've got a lot of problems. We don't know what the right answers are. And we want to take you along on this journey. We want you to see that we're imperfect. We have a lot of problems and issues too. And what you're doing at this moment, challenging things and pushing things and questioning things, it's exactly what we do in academia. It's what we do in research. We don't believe things when they first come out. That's inherently being very wise and being very thoughtful. But what we tend to do and what we try to do is create a track record, build up a thought process behind it, where we're trying to pay attention to what other people are doing and being open to what other people are actually trying to say. So at this moment in North American culture, world culture, where science is being questioned, scientific integrity is being questioned from multiple domains, and this has been going on for much more than a decade at this moment, where there was the credibility crisis that came out, where people were questioning scientific integrity, and rightfully so. There was a lot of issues with what we are doing, and there's lots of challenges with doing scientific research. I think that's just the general message of the credibility crisis that we're having, which was looking at some of the old scientific research that we had and questioning its integrity or its validity. And it's hard at the end of the day. And there's this new emerged crisis with looking at the integrity of vaccines and all that kind of stuff that's been going on. That's very heated debate that's been going on in culture. And what we need to do is be open to that and say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should start looking into this. Maybe what we should do is think about how we can become more thoughtful with how we're communicating science, how we're communicating research, how we're sort of treating things, and come out with a much more softer approach. Come out with a much more gentler approach. And I'm not saying that anything that we've done in terms of scientific integrity is or increasing the availability of vaccine research or making sure that we have credible research has all been incorrect. That's not true. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this is what culture is at this moment. It's a mess. There's a lot of messiness that's going on. There's lots of tensions. And what we need to do is come out with an open heart and start walking people through on the journey of how we get to a certain moment, and not assuming we're at a certain level. And this is one thing that I've learned. It's hard. It's really, really hard. I've learned when I've been teaching, I've learned a lot over the course of my 42 years of being here on Earth, and learning a lot and reading a bunch, but not everybody else has. And so we have to think about, how do we build an open chain of communication with other people? How do we get them along on the journey? How do we come out and be kind and gentle? In a lot of ways, what we're facing are these very rigid institutional norms that we've been experiencing for well over 100 years, 200 years, even hundreds of years, where we have these very distinct boundaries. An emergence of technology, an emergence of information technology, and a lot of different things, cultural norms have formed where we're blurring the boundaries between things. And we have to figure out a more knowledgeable, softer approach to get people on board with the things that we're doing. Now, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of effort. And we're going to need a lot of scientists and researchers to step up and be open and honest. Be not afraid of being who they are and being open, vulnerable, messy, uncertain, and letting people know that if they're afraid of something, that if they don't understand something, that's normal. That's okay. That's what us scientists go through all the time. And as you're approaching people, make sure that you be kind to them. Because all of those fears and anxieties that you're going and experiencing, they're experiencing that at this moment, in this tension, this very tense cultural environment that we're having. Just be gentle. Be a good person. And acknowledge that what we do is scary. What they're going through is scary. They're learning and changing, just like you. So, as scientists and researchers and PhDs, go be nice. Go be kind. Let your guard down. Let them know that you're scared and nervous too. I think that would be good for everybody.